I made this entire film with AI in just a few hours.
Deep in the golden dunes of the Sahara, a boy named Tariq was never alone because he had Habib.
Race you to the top of the dune, Habib!
We have crossed these sands 1,000 times, little one. The dune is not going anywhere.
And neither am I. Huh? Huh?
Why did the sky turn orange?
Stay close to me, Tariq. Whatever happens, do not let go of my side.
I can't see! The compass! No! No!
Leave it. Get behind me, now.
Habib, run! You have to run!
No, little one. I will not run from this. I will never run from you.
What are you doing?
There, your grandfather's gift. I could not let the desert keep it.
You could have been lost.
I knew exactly where I was, right here, with you.
You stayed. Everyone says a camel would run, but you stayed.
Where would I go, Tariq? You are my home too.
It can still show us the way home.
It can, but I think we are already there. The compass could always point him home, but home was never a place on the sand. Home was the friend who stayed.
Hey guys, the whole film, I made it in just a few hours. It's not perfect, I know, but that wasn't the point. The point was to show you how far this has actually come. Consistent characters, a consistent voice, even the lip sync, and how genuinely easy these kinds of videos are to make now. What did you think? A year ago, AI gave you one good clip and then your character changed in the next one. Now, same character, same voice, the whole way through. It's not perfect, but it's close. And these tools are only getting better. What takes a few tries today will be one click soon. And that's the exciting part. Once you got this, you can take your imagination as far as you want. So that's what this video is really about, keeping your character consistent and giving them a consistent voice. It sounds hard, but Google Flow does most of the work. Let me show you. Quick, honest note before we start. Every tool I used is linked in the description. The two doing most of the heavy lifting, Google Gemini and Claude, don't pay me a thing. I'm linking them because they are genuinely what I used. And if you're into this kind of thing, real builds and no hype, just drop a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. The whole thing is just 5 steps. 1. The idea. 2. Let Claude or Gemini turn it into a story with all the prompts. 3. Build your character in Google Flow. 4. Make each scenes with those characters. 5. Edit it together. That's it. 5 steps and none of them are complicated. The first step is coming up with an idea. Keep it simple if you don't have a story in mind. I just started with an idea of a cartoon featuring a boy and a camel in the desert. I asked for an emotional story and a thumbnail, and the AI did the rest for me. I wasn't satisfied the first image it created, so I asked for the following modifications. I then asked it to change the setting to a night scene, which was a bad prompt to begin with. It resulted in a robot-style thumbnail. Next, I had the AI write a prompt to generate an image that actually described the story. At that point, we were getting somewhere. I experimented with different art styles including Studio Ghibli and 3D animation, but I wasn't satisfied. Finally, using Google Gemini, I asked for a cleaner thumbnail without any text, and I was completely happy with it. That was really good. And that was the image we used to generate the script, which is our next step. Step 2. As I mentioned, we had Gemini create a thumbnail and a story. We reviewed the thumbnail and it generated a story to go with. I then took both the story and the image, fed them into Claude, and asked it to generate a script. I also had it create detailed prompts defining the characters, including their appearance and voice tones, as well as scene details. Claude did an amazing job. Although it was basic, it was good enough for a quick, short story creation. I used these prompts to generate the character assets and the final scene using Google Flow.
This script is amazing!
Always review your Claude script first to get a good idea of how many characters and scenes you will be working with. Once you are completely satisfied, you can move on to the next step of actually creating them. Step 3 focuses on creating the characters, which is the most important part of establishing consistent voices and identities. We will walk through this process step by step in detail. Our story features 3 characters: Tariq the boy, Habib the camel, and an invisible narrator. While you can access some Google models via free tiers or trial credits, these are usually too limited for consistent character and video generation. I recommend upgrading to a paid plan. This ensures you have enough credits to iterate on your work and often grants you the necessary commercial rights for publishing content on platforms like YouTube. Now, let's create these characters in Google Flow. As you can see, I have selected the Nano Banana Pro model and I am uploading my thumbnail to generate characters directly from the image. Once the thumbnail is uploaded, we will try to create Tariq using prompts generated by Claude. We will go back to the plot and copy Tariq's character definition. I'm writing a prompt here to create him, stating, taking hints from the picture, create the character below. Let's see what happens. It generated an image, but it just recreated the background instead of the character we wanted. I kept it because things like this happen, beginner's mistakes, so we will have to modify a prompt. Since it didn't create Tariq, I had to modify my prompt. I added just the boy and ensured the model was still set to Nano Banana Pro. Let's see what it creates this time. Wow, I am impressed. It successfully generated the character and he looks just like the boy in our uploaded picture. Now that we have Tariq's physical appearance, we can move to the character info section in the Google Flow. Just copy the same information you used to generate his look and paste it into this text box. Next, we need to give him a voice. Let's also rename the character to Tariq. For his voice, Claude provided a definition of how he should sound, so we will copy that as well. To set this up, click here and select create new voice rather than using the default option. When you select create new voice, you will see a list of existing voices. Choose the one that sounds closest to your character. You can then modify using text prompts to generate a custom voice that perfectly suits Tariq. Go through the options and pick the one you like the best. I tested a couple of them and selected my favorite. Paste the voice definition into voice performance field and name it Tariq's voice. You can type a sample message, generate the audio and listen to it. If it doesn't sound quite right, you can tweak the settings a bit. Once you think the voice is perfect, go ahead and click save new voice. You can play around with the settings as much as you want to make him sound more kid-like or adult-like, whatever fits your vision. Just experiment until you are happy with the result. Finally, assign this new voice to the character. Now whenever Tariq speaks in a scene, the system will use this specific audio profile. Save your settings and you will see Tariq's voice added to his character. We have successfully generated his look and his voice tone. Save the character as a whole and he is ready to go.
Hi, I'm Tariq. This is my test voice. Do you like it? I hope so.
Now let's create Habib's character using the same drill. We will go to Claude and copy his visual definition. In Google Flow under characters we upload that same thumbnail, paste the character definition and generate his look. It successfully created the camel character this time. We then copy those details and paste them into the character info section as well. Now that we have the information in his file, let's give him a voice using the same procedure. Copy Habib's voice definition from Claude and paste it into the voice performance field. Give it a name. Try generating it couple of times and listen for yourself. Once you like how it sounds, save it and attach it to the character.
Hi, I'm Habib the camel. How is my voice?
Save the new voice and assign it to the character. You will see Habib's voice appear here. Just click add to character. Now that his look and voice are defined, let's rename the character to Habib. Save the profile and we are good to go. With Habib complete, we can move on fine tuning. Make sure you fine tune both of your main characters, Tariq and Habib. If you think you can improve their looks or voice before creating the scenes, take the time to do so now. Once they are completely finalized, we can start building the scenes. We also need to create our third character, the invisible narrator. Since this character won't be seen, we don't have to pay any attention to their physical appearance. We only need to set up their voice profile, which I will show you how to do next. Now let's create our third character, the invisible narrator. Since we don't have to worry about their physical appearance, we can jump straight into creating the voice. Click select voice and choose create new voice. From the available list, pick the option that sounds closest to what you envision for the narrator. Next, switch over to Claude to copy the narrator's voice profile and paste it into voice performance field in the Google Flow. Be sure to type in a sample text message so you can test the audio after it generates. Play around with the settings to ensure you like the narrator's tone. Tweak it a couple of times and listen to the generated audio.
Hi, I'm the narrator of this story. Let's hear Tariq's and Habib's story.
Once you are perfectly satisfied how it sounds, attach it to the character. Just like that, all three of our characters are defined and we are ready to move on to the next step, creating the scenes. Step 4 is all about creating scenes using our characters. First, we will go back to the script in Claude. Here Claude has organized everything into different sections, providing all the instructions on how to split the screen and generate the videos. It also knows we are going to use the OmniFlash model for clip generation in Google Flow. Based on that, it has formatted the script into distinct scenes like scene 1 and scene 2. I will explain in detail how I created the first scene and then we can apply the same steps for the rest. Simply copy the script from Claude and generate each scene one after another. As I mentioned earlier, the AI isn't perfect, so you might need to regenerate certain clips. You won't always be happy with the first result, so play around with it until you are satisfied with the generated scene. My goal here was to create a video as fast as possible, so you might spot some imperfections or inconsistencies. That's purely because of speed at which I created this. If you are aiming for a professional looking video, take your time to ensure consistency. However, given how quickly it generates these scenes, you will be surprised by how consistent it actually is. It's not perfect yet, but it's very close and definitely good enough. It's gonna only improve from here. Let's get started. I'll copy the text for our first scene. Head over to Google Flow. For the first scene, we will split the action into two clips. I think we will need two 10-second clips to fully accommodate this particular scene. The most important step here is how you tag the characters. For example, if you want Tariq to speak, instead of just typing Tariq says, you need to tag a specific character profile and then add his dialogue next to it. To do that, type the @ symbol and a pop-up menu will appear. This allows you to tag the exact character and attach them to the prompt. Select Tariq and add him in. This is exactly how tagging works. Wherever a character appears in your screen prompt, make sure you tag them just like this. Next, you can ask the agent to create the scenes. Even though you can technically use a single prompt to say create two clips from these two scenes, I have found it generally better to generate one scene at a time. It ultimately comes down to your workflow preference. If the system occasionally fails to generate clip, don't worry, that happens all the time. If it does fail, just resend the exact same script to regenerate the scene and you should be good to go. You may also need to rewrite some of the scene creation prompts, as the AI might occasionally have trouble generating specific scenes. It takes time to process each clip, and it would be pretty boring to sit and watch me spend the next 30 minutes to an hour creating them all. So let's skip ahead and take a look at the final prompts and the completed video scenes that Google Flow produced. You are going to love this part. You will be surprised by how incredibly well it generates these animated movie clips. It really is amazing stuff. Here is the first scene featuring the narrator. The narration prompt was deep in the golden dunes of Sahara and a boy named Tariq was never alone. For the second clip, Tariq says, race you to the top of the dune, Habib, and Habib replies, we have crossed this desert 1,000 times, little one. Along with a few visual instructions, the AI generated these first two clips beautifully. Tariq's excited conversation with the camel captured the perfect emotions. I was very happy with how these initial scenes turned out. Moving on to the next clip, Tariq becomes scared and uneasy as the sky turns orange. It took a couple of attempts, but AI captured the scenes and the mood quite well. The next scene, where Tariq loses his compass, presented some challenges. The AI generated several unrealistic elements, a camel appearing from behind out of nowhere, a tent suddenly popping into the frame, and a bizarre physics like the camel having hands or two necks. In one instance, the boy was even holding compass he was supposed to have just lost. You often have to remind the AI of the context, as it can generate some funny and unrealistic physics. However, the key is to not give up. By playing around and modifying the prompts, I was finally able to get the exact clip I wanted, including the subsequent scene where Habib finds Tariq's compass. The night scenes under the starry sky were relatively easy, though the AI struggled initially at one point, even making an invisible narrator visible on the screen. Adding instructions to remove invisible characters cleared the issue right up. A few tips for this process: watch the whole clip, always review your entire generation to ensure no strange anomalies slip through. Tweak your prompts. Prompting is the main challenge, but slight modification usually fix most issues. Generate B-rolls. I highly recommend creating extra scenes to use as B-roll for transitions or when background music is playing. Once you have all your clips, download them at 1080p for an upscaled version. If you have the Ultra plan, you can get 4K upscaling as well. You can also use AI to generate a green screen like and subscribe animation in various style. Speaking of which, if you found these tips helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Now we have all our clips. Let's move on to the editing part. Step 5. Editing. Put it all together. Drop the clips in order, but we have a problem here. Each clip has its own dialogue, music, and sound effects, so it feels a little bit disconnected. Check this out.
Alone, because he had Habib.
Race you to the top of the dune, Habib!
We have crossed these sands 1,000 times, little one. The dune is not going anywhere.
And neither am I.
Can, but I think we are already there.
To fix this, just isolate the voice. Most modern video editors are able to do that. Now we only have the dialogues from each character.
Deep in the golden dunes of the Sahara, a boy named Tariq was never alone because he had Habib.
Race you to the top of the dune, Habib!
We have crossed these sands 1,000.
And then we can add our own music. Google Gemini can even create music for you from a prompt. Like the first and the ending music of the film, I created it using Google Gemini. For the rest, I used artlist.io. They have got amazing library, music library and sound effects. I don't want to get into editing here as it will drag this video out much longer. Let me know if you want me to create an editing tutorial and I will put a link to that in case I do. Drop the clips in order, add the voices and a little music, trim it so it flows and export. That's the whole film. 5 steps and you just made a movie. This isn't perfect because I made it fast. The real goal was to show how Google Flow effortlessly solves AI video's biggest problem, consistent faces and voices. And think about what this actually means for you. This same skill makes ad videos, explainers, product launches, whole brands by one person from a laptop. The barrier that used to need a studio and a budget is basically gone. We are at the start of this and it's only getting better. The people who learn it now will be way ahead. The polish gets better with practice and the tools get better every month. I will be making a more polished version of this soon. If you want to learn how to make videos like this with Google Flow, stick around and subscribe. See you in the next one.